Stort välkommen till ett nytt avsnitt och då kommer jag en snabb uppdatering och gå igenom A-link och grattis till er som köpte Winnodes för $500. Priset är nu $2000 och en Winnode är lika med en blockbot. Hur cool Learn to Earn Academy Connect har skapat. Det är bara början och första veckan är klar där man får en NFT värd $500 på en Winnodes, så att ni kommer nu betala sig tillbaka väldigt snabbt i värde. Så det är kul. Men vi hoppar in här i A-link, senaste callet med Darin Kidd. Det var nu det mest sjuka callet jag varit med om, och det var så mycket information som släpptes och jag tror det finns ännu mer i pipen än vad Darin kunde säga där. Så man får nästan läsa mellan raderna, okej, det här kommer nu bli väldigt, väldigt stort. Det finns ingen garantier såklart, men jag tror att endast på A-link, skit alla andra investeringar jag gör här, jag tror endast på den investeringen kommer att jag bli ekonomiskt oberoende. Det är vad jag tror. Allt kan hända, men magkänslan med allt vad man hör, ser och varit med om tidigare och vilka människor som är involverade i detta projekt, så känns det som att det är nog att investera såklart, men att det ser ut att bli större än vad jag har anat från början. Och jag tror eventet i Fort Lauderdale kan bli otroligt spännande, och jag hoppas jag kan se de här ansiktena när de pratar om de här stora YouTuber och influencers som förmodligen kommer promota A-link här efter sommaren eller under sommaren. Det är väldigt kul att se, kanske till och med kan ta ett snack med dem, vem vet. Jag tror det kommer finnas väldigt intressanta människor där på, vi ska vara sån middag på en stor yacht som är värd $250 miljoner eller vad det var. En stor båt, det kommer en middag, där kommer jag vara med, ha VIP-biljetter dit. Så att jag och några svenskar till ska över dit. Jag kommer göra videos och intervjuer förhoppningsvis, men jag kommer uppdatera hela tiden vad som händer. Jag hoppar in här i talet med Darin i 3 delar. Så häng med, ta tiden, lyssna, ni kommer inte ångra er. Ni måste få informationen, sen så gör exakt vad ni vill. Köp node, köp token, gör ingenting, whatever. Vänta tills allt det här blir officiellt, eller du vill ha ännu mer, men då kommer priset vara högre upp. Så att det där, allt handlar om information. Du måste ha informationen innan alla andra, och det är just därför jag gör dessa intervjuerna. Så innan, du kan inte hitta någonstans på YouTube om detta. Det är väl mina videos typ. Kanske någon till, men det är typ bara jag som gör videos om detta. Så att det är on the ground floor, ground zero, och förmodligen kommer vi gå uppåt här under året. Darin Kidd, del 1.
Right? But that's not a long-term project. Tony talks about, hey, listen, the reason I put $20-some million of my own money into a project that I do not own, I'm a community member just like all of you. He goes, my goal is to build another multiple billion-dollar business that has real-world value, real-world utility, real-world revenue, and that we can make a difference in people's lives. When you do that type of thing, then the other stuff will follow. And by the way, I saw someone post today, just for funsies, that today is actually Bitcoin Pizza Day. How many of you have heard of Bitcoin Pizza Day in the past, right? And it says today is Bitcoin Pizza Day. The 10,000 Bitcoin that Laszlo, I can't say his last name, spent on 2 Papa John pizzas in 2010 is now worth 1.1 billion, just shy of Papa John's market cap of $1.3 billion. So that was when these guys were in a community back in 2010. He's like, hey, I would like some pizzas, and I got these things called Bitcoin. I've been mining. I'll send you 10,000 for a couple pizzas. And if that 10,000 Bitcoin now would be worth almost the market cap, over $1 billion in Bitcoin. And so I heard someone asking this question, like, hey, look, if Bitcoin was at $1 million a coin right now, how many coins would you want to have? Right? How many coins would you want to have? And I think all of us would say as many as I possibly could. That's the way I look at this project right now. I'm like, how many tokens can I gather as fast as I possibly can? And I'm going to give you some examples today. I am taking the time that I have with you today extremely serious, because some of this information could possibly make the difference in your family's future for generations to come. I'm trying to be very careful how I word things to make sure I'm very compliant. There's no guarantees, which is why we tell people, hey, high risk with the potential of no rewards. We also know there's a high risk with the potential quite a bit. Because if you look at Bitcoin, what type of Bitcoin does Bitcoin has no revenue generating? It's not revenue generating, right? I mean, here our project is revenue generating. Look at Dogecoin, 24 cents a token this week. What can you use it for? Nothing, right? Bitcoin is basically a storage of wealth. It's where people hold value. And so when you look at what we have in front of us, it's really exciting. So let's go ahead and start with the updates. Then I'm going to give you some examples and things that I think will get you very excited. So number one, the service. I know when you jump on like this platform, you may go, man, it doesn't look like hardly anything is getting done. And if you see a lot of us in person, like Kim and Rhonda and all of us that are working behind the scenes, sometimes like, man, we look pretty tired. It's because we are very tired because there's meetings that we've already had this morning. I know Ron and Kim have been in for hours. Our first meeting was at 7 something this morning, working with the developers, working with the tech. Like, let me just give you an example. We heard you when some of you said, hey, listen, the audio quality, sometimes I'm having some issues. So we just had an upgrade. So to our back end tech. So you should start to see better quality camera, like the video, and better audio, and it should be a little bit faster. Now, what happens, because I'm not a techie person, I'm not a developer person, I didn't know that sometimes when you enhance things, it messes up other things. So that's why we're telling people, hey, listen, we're in beta. We're coming out, like most of the people that have this service right now, they're part of our community. They're people like you and I. They understand, hey, look, this is our project. We want to come out of beta. But you're willing to give us some grace, knowing that, hey, look, I don't want to use, and I've had friends of mine going, hey, just come back to our link and join once it's, pretty much perfect. As close to perfect as you can. But knowing what you know now, would you rather go back when Zoom was a disaster in the beginning, knowing what you know now, or would you rather come on now and try to buy as much stock as you can in Zoom? You've missed the initial opportunity phase with Zoom, or maybe it was Amazon, maybe it was Apple, or whatever it was. So I'd much rather be where we are. But you've seen the quality of our camera, the quality of the audio has been upgraded. We'll continue to work to make it better and better. We're never going to be done with saying, hey, look, we've arrived, right? You're either growing or you're dying. That's personally, when it comes to personal development. That's when it comes to business. That's just my philosophy. And I learned that from a mentor of mine that was a billionaire many years ago. We're working on easier user experiences. So now when you share, it doesn't say, hey, do you want this or do you want that for maximum readability or whatever? No, we've gotten rid of that. We're working on our onboarding process. We want it to be as simple as Zoom, if not easier. Now, of course, there are going to be some things that we have to do with this platform because Zoom does not allow you to get rewards, right? We're in the process. The proposal is floating around through the community. Legal is taking a look at it, right? Some of the OGs that have been here in the blockchain space a lot longer than I have are looking at it. So that proposal is floating around. And pretty soon, one of the community members is going to put that up for vote. And all of us are going to vote, hey, yeah, we like this or we don't like it, right? Every one of you vote based off of, we'll do a call, share it with you. We'll have someone explain whatever the proposal is. I hadn't seen the final proposal yet, but I know it's floating around the community. And then when that happens, then everybody that we have using the service, you're getting rewarded for using the service. And yes, we're tracking all of it right now. So then we'll have to backdate everything that's already happened to make sure that people get credit for it. So the onboarding process, working on making that smoother. That way you don't have to wait for an email to come in and then go set up your room. You basically can pay and you can immediately get access to your room. All right. Then we have the UX UI experience, the user experience and user interface, what you see. We're working on making it more blockchainy, more new and modern, sexy, like whatever you want to call it, right? So that way the user experience and the user interface is growing as well. We're working on that. And then we're hiring new developers because we know that the more people we have come on board, and when I tell you something in just a second, you're going to understand why we're hiring several new developers so we can move at a faster pace, but we're working on that. One more thing, Tony, a community member that put millions and millions into this project, even though he doesn't own it, he just purchased it will be a decentralized TikTok killer. And he's actually going to give it to the Rally blockchain. So that's in the future. Right now, our main focus is getting all of this stuff like it should, like all of the automations and onboarding and the UX and UI experience and new features and a new look and all of that. But we do have the beta of the Pixel, the decentralized TikTok, that he's going to give to the Rally blockchain that will be using this blockchain and the Rally tokens and everything else. And there's probably 100 influencers that are ready to go to promote that once it's ready. So that's just in the future. Now, let me tell you about a meeting we just had and why it's important to each and every one of you. And I know some of you have had experience in other industries where sometimes you're sharing information and you end up running into there's crossover when it comes to who you know and who someone else knows. And if they ended up selling that person, you're like, dang it, I missed out, I lost. But the beautiful thing about blockchain is, number one, when you join the blockchain, anybody, if you've been in more than a few weeks, all the meetings that we just did last week in Puerto Rico at Wright's house, when those people joined the blockchain, it was under you, because the blockchain is just straight. It's a straight line, right? But then you have the friend chain, which is when you build or moving. You should get really excited, because if they bring on millions of people onto this platform and we're generating millions and millions of revenue, that's going to help every single one of us with the Rally Project. And you're a node owner, most likely, if you're watching this, right? If somebody's just using the service or just buying nodes and just want to let them operate, they're probably not on here. If you're on here, you're like, look, I want to build a community. I want to multiply my rewards, which, by the way, some of you reached out to me because you have been consistently building the...
Så del 1 där. Bra energi på Darin. Det är otroligt spännande. Det med Pixel är decentralized TikTok. Också intressant att Tony köpte upp det och gav till Rally Blockchain. Det ska bli intressant hur det också blir där. Del 2.
Couple guys, been friends of mine for years, and this is a story. Well, one of them was approached a year and a half ago. It wasn't the right timing for them. But when I followed up, okay, because, he reached out and goes, Darin, what are y'all doing at the Ritz in Puerto Rico? Like, where is that? And we met in Sarasota. We sat down. We've been friends for a long time. And I updated him on what's happening. He's like, dude, we got to take a look at this. And I won't say their names in case they don't want people knowing. But what happened was these two guys, just their Instagram accounts alone that they own, reach over 1 billion people. When he's showing me the conversations with different sharks from Shark Tank that are doing business with them. When one of them is a partner, they're partners with Jake Paul in the W Fragrance line. When they owned a percentage of Poppy that just sold for Pepsi for $2.2 billion. When they help all of these celebrities with their social media. They're the most, when you're seeing them get on their jet with all these celebrities, whether they're athletes, whether they're musicians, like that's these two, right? They did billions of dollars in sales in just one previous business venture. And so when they saw it and they got excited, they went out to Puerto Rico to meet with Wright, Tony, myself. And they're like, man, we want to gather several million tokens. Okay. Then the more they learn, they're like, oh my gosh, how fast can we get to 200 million? 200 million tokens is the goal. And they learned how the algorithm worked, and they're learning. And they're like, hey, how can we build a community and be rewarded for building the community? Now their goal is, how fast can we get to 1 billion tokens? And so what happened, we flew about, it was about 14 people that flew down. And then several that lived in Puerto Rico actually drove to meet with us at Wright's house. And let me just give you, doesn't count the meetings we've been having every hour on the hour. Some days this week, we have literally, Tony and I both have had meetings on the hour, every single hour. 2 days ago, Tony was up at 4 a.m., right? Because, and then sometimes when he's doing the presentation, I'm turning on my camera and I'm answering other calls. But let me just give you a couple of the people in the room. One guy either sold or his drop shipping business did $100 million. Another guy, the #1 ClickFunnels affiliate in the world, the #1 Shopify affiliate in the world. Okay, one of these guys has a technology that Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Grant Cardone, all of them already use. So he had an idea. He's a community member now, right? Purchase nodes. He's like, I've got an idea that we can implement into the R-Link platform. And he said, Darin, within 4 to 6 months, I believe I can have R-Link at several $100 million a year. And he goes, yes, go get millions of clients. But he goes, I tell you what, I'll show you how with this technology, with 300 clients, to get more sales than you could with 1 million paying customers a month. So we're talking to him on, hey, how can we roll that technology into this platform? And what's really crazy is his technology, he was looking to create a platform like this. So it's almost like a perfect marriage. We're just figuring out how that's going to work, right? And so that was another person that was in the room. We had another guy, and I won't say the space that he's in, but he's the #1 in the world in that space. So now he's looking to bring 14, 15 people to do some private meetings right before our event in Florida. We had another gentleman that we talked to that had when we were in Puerto Rico, the fastest growing YouTube channel in the world in 2024. There's a celebrity in the mix that's had not only multiple meetings now with their financial people. We were doing.
Ni hör ju själva vilka människor det är, och sånt här kan inte läsa om. Sånt här står inte i media, sånt står inte i nyhetskanaler. Inte ens på YouTube pratar om detta, för det är så i sin linda innan det blir mainstream. Och så man skulle investerat i Facebook, man skulle investerat i Apple. Till och med det är en av grundfounders som skapade Apple, sålde ju 800 dollar, alla sina aktier i Apple, och nu hade det varit värt miljarder dollar. Så till och med i så tidigt skede så kan inte folk se hur mycket det kan vara värt, men den här grejen kan gå viralt så snabbt, för det är en tjänst som alla kan använda över hela världen. Det räcker de telefon eller dator. Det är ingen produkt du måste skeppa. En tjänst är väldigt enkel att få viralt. Men han namnen, för han nämner inte namn, men de här personerna som de har haft möte med, det är på toppen. Alltså det är ju, och jag tror absolut inte det är någon bullshit här, för de är verkligen professionella, extremt professionella. Darin skrivit massvis med böcker och varit en stor entreprenör och networker tidigare, och de är redan superrika, så jag tror nästan tvärtom att de till och med drar ner förväntningarna, de inte lovar för mycket, vilket jag själv tycker om. Vi svenskar tycker om det, inte folk hypar för mycket. Ibland kanske vi hypar för lite, så därför trycker jag på A-link nu att och connect och win, att det är nu man vill hoppa på tåget. Det är nu man ändå kan se mållinjen. Det kanske man inte kunde göra för ett år sedan. De här går upp också värde nodesen, och den tidsfråga innan det kommer gå upp på stora exchanger, och likviditeten kommer gå upp också. Så att och stora kändisar som man säger, allt lär visa väldigt snart ju. Men ni får informationen bara 2 dagar efter det här mötet. Så ta tillvara på den informationen.
And another call from this group, because again, this group went back and put Tony and I to work big time. But this guy was getting ready to go out of his car. He's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this nutrition company?" We're like, "Yeah, we've heard of that before. They just sold it for 300 million. That's who I'm going to work out with." And this guy owns a part of a ton of companies. So again, the whole point to this, right, is the fact that we're attracting some of the best entrepreneurs and influencers in the world. Right now, no, we're not aggressively trading the coin. Our goal is not to go push it on the exchanges or do what we have to do on the exchanges yet. Okay, there'll come a point and a time in the very near future where all of the things that should happen will happen. But the point is, you want to do things in the right order. We don't want to go out and do it and do what some of these scammers are doing with the pump and dump. What good does it do to drive the token up, have no liquidity, whatever? And right now, there's not a lot of liquidity. Like, we're not trying to trade the coin. No one wants to sell their coin at the price it's at right now. So we're just focused on doing the right things in the right order for a long-term project. And I'll give you one last story. Then I'm going to give you some important things that I want you to write down. We're getting up from dinner. There's about 19, 20 of us. And this guy and his wife were sitting beside us at the Ritz. And we got to chatting. And the lady's like, "Hey, can I ask you something?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she said, "What do y'all do?" Like, the energy, and I'm hearing the conversations. And so I said, "Hey, we're in the blockchain space." And we're talking for a second. I'm like, "What do you do?" They're like, "Well, we own over 50 certain gyms, okay, franchises." And this guy's like, "Dude, I want to hear about the blockchain space." And so, us being busy, I didn't get a chance to text him back, call him back. We swapped numbers. He texted or called me 3 different times. And when I had a conversation with him this week, his conversation was, "Man, I have been hearing about the blockchain. I've been hearing more about crypto." He's like, "Just to be completely honest with you, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars in franchises and real estate. But I need a certain part of my portfolio in the blockchain and crypto space. And I would love for you to show me what I need to do." Right? And that's what happened last bull run. People like me that knew nothing about anything, we're seeing it everywhere, right? Which we hadn't even really seen that. Like, Bitcoin went up to, I think, almost 110,000 yesterday. It may have been the all-time high. But people are saying, "Hey, look, probably by the end of the year, it's 250, 300,000. They don't know. But some of the biggest names that normally do a pretty good job predicting are saying that it could go up to a couple.
Ja, det var del 2. Som ni själva hör här, hur stort det kan bli när den största snabbväxande kanalen på YouTube 2024, han vet om detta, han vill investera, han vill ha så många tokens som möjligt innan de kommer promota det. Är du smart och så du tror på en sak, du har stor följarskara, det är klart att du köper på det så mycket du vill ha och sen promotar du det. Alltså, precis som de här nissarna här, de vill bara samla på så mycket tokens som möjligt, bygga värde från grunden när ingen vet om det egentligen, så länge som möjligt, och sen boom, slå på trumman. Man måste ha en vision. Folk som är redo att investera och vill ha allt på klart, typ samma sak med Tesla eller Bitcoin. Bitcoin 5 år sedan, det är fortfarande, det är ingen, det har inte, approved, det är ingen säker tillgång, den har inte bevisat sig. Nej, men när den väl har bevisat sig i medias ögon, ja, då är det uppe på $120,000, vilket vi ser vilken dag som helst. Samma sak med A-link. Helt plötsligt kommer folk säga, varför investerar man inte i A-link? Och framförallt de har sett denna videon, sett att jag pratar om detta nonstop i nästan ett år, i alla fall ett halvår här, sista halvåret mer och mer. Och man har inte tagit någon action alls. Inte ens köpt lite valutor på marknaden. Och sen ser detta gå upp där jag tror då kommer få riktig ångest. Kan jag tänka mig. Och du som lyssnar inte investerat i A-link, du hoppas ju klart att detta går åt helvete. Det hade jag också gjort om inte jag investerade. Men den här chansen, jag tror inte många sådana chanser, man får inte så många chanser i livet. Sen kan allt hända fortfarande. Jag lovar ingenting, men det går inte att lova såklart. Men när det också är en självklarhet, då är också priserna mycket högre. Så ibland ska jag hoppa på det, inte en självklarhet, utan det är så 1 + 1, vad är det? Det är 2. Ja, när du hör detta här, de pratar med sjukt rika människor. Många människor med stort inflytande, framförallt i YouTube-världen och när det gäller marknadsföring. Och de här människorna med Maha också, som universitet kommer att använda sig av Rally och A-link. Det är liksom bara slå 1 + 1, okej, vad kommer den sannolikheten vara? Ja, antagligen kommer att bli hög efterfrågan på rally tokens, men också fler användare, och användare ger revenue till projektet, och revenue går ut och köper upp valuta på marknaden. Så att, och då går värdet upp också och blir ett stabilt värde över tid. Desto fler användare, desto fler större tokenpris. Så det är lite så, när du hör detta, vågar du inte investera i detta? Alltså, vågar du verkligen sätta dessa videor och kanske ännu fler videos, och du inte investerar någonting i A-link? Vågar du ta den risken? Det är ju en risk att inte investera i A-link. Det glömmer folk också bort. Det är en risk i sig att inte investera i bitcoin. Det är en risk i sig att bara sitta på cash. Det glömmer också folk bort. Det är en risk att inte ta beslut. Det är också en risk. Att man blir paralyserad och inte vågar tro på sin egen instinkt eller vågar ta beslut för att man inte är så insatt. Det är också en risk, men därför gör den informationen så att du själv kan bilda en uppfattning. Och så finns mycket information att hämta, men det gäller också att ta sig tiden och bygga en uppfattning. Eller så bara man litar på vad jag säger, eller kör med sin research och sen så bara, okej, men det låter ändå vettigt. Det är värt att ge ett försök eller investera lite i alla fall. Så att det, och jag vill, varför jag gör dessa videos och pratar om detta helt år, jag vill kunna gå tillbaka till dessa videos sen, lägga ut dem igen. Och så, detta sa jag för ett år sedan eller 3 år sedan. Nu är rally token på $1. Och om inte mina vänner köper notes eller A-link, så kommer jag i alla fall bjuda dem på min privatjet på en semester. Det kommer jag göra. Så kommer jag säga så här, ja, detta kunde ni också haft, grabbar. Detta kunde ni också haft. Om ni investerat i A-link. Det är så jag ser på det. Vision, you never know. Men det är min vision och vad jag tror på. Min övertygelse och min vision, som jag pratar om, mina 5 lärdomar. Det gäller att ha en vision och en övertygelse, vilket jag har byggt upp under året med A-link. Kör vi den sista delen här då.
$1 million just in the next 12 months or so, but normally it's the Bitcoin, then it's Ethereum, then it's the altcoin season. Doesn't matter. We're in this for the long term, but our goal is to create so much revenue, build a real multiple billion-dollar business like Tony has done multiple times, and several of these people that are now coming on board, to where when crypto winter hits and they're looking at these projects that have no utility, no real world value, no real world revenue, but they see we put on 1 million new clients last month, and at $10, $20, whatever, $30, $50 a month. Not to mention things that we're going to add on the blockchain. Why would anyone want to get rid of it? Like, when should I sell, my R-Link coins? There's no answer for that. When do you sell your Apple? When do you sell your Microsoft? So we're just focused on doing the right things and building the right business. So here's a warning for you. Just one of the guys out of many that I mentioned and many that I have not is looking to himself this month purchase $500,000 to $1 million in nodes. So he's figuring out what he wants to do. The node price just went up to 5,800. As you know, every 100 nodes are sold, it goes up $100. So in the next 30, 60 days, as I was talking to some of them out when we were in Puerto Rico, they're like, listen, in the next 30, 60, 90 days, you could see the node price go up $1,000 to $2,000, depending on how fast these sell. All right. And so that's number one. Okay. The next thing I wanted to remind you of, because this, not knowing this or knowing this could make a huge difference in your success in the community. With the price of the token right now at 0.0010 or something like that, I am excited that it's that price, and I'm hoping it holds that for a while, to be honest with you. Because if you sold $150, $800 note, and you don't have to understand these numbers completely, simulation, phase that we're in right now, which is why urgency, I'm working like I've never worked before. Nothing is distracting me. One guy's texting me about some deal he wanted me to invest in the healthcare space. I'm like, I am not even open to looking at your information right now. Like, don't even text me again. I'm being very nice about it, but I'm going to block him if he continues to put my text thread with his information, because I don't need a second of distraction, knowing that every minute counts, every hour counts, every day counts in the place that we are right now in the blockchain space, and the place we are with our link, and knowing we only have maybe 28 days left until our Florida event, which we're looking at is basically the official launch. And again, how many tokens right now do you want to accumulate between now and the end of the year? And one more thing, 5 months from now, it halves. 5 months from now, the first year, out of 50 billion tokens, 25 billion are released. The next 12 months, 12.5 billion. So we're coming up on a halving in 5 months from now. That's why the people that we met with, they're moving extremely fast. When I share with them, hey, listen, take your time, but you may want to hurry up, because if you're going to buy 10, 20, 50, 100 nodes times almost 3,000 rewards a day, every day you wait, you're missing those rewards and you're never getting that back. So have an extreme sense of urgency, not to mention the token promotion, this month, and we'll make sure we put that in the WhatsApp chat and an email for you as well. Now, the Florida event, this is extremely important. A lot of these people that we're talking to that I've mentioned to you with their experience, their background, whether they're influencers, celebrities, a lot of those people are going to be at our Florida event. If you weren't even interested in building the blockchain space, I'll be honest with you, I would be at the Florida event to meet the people that are going to be in that room. We're putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into that event. It is going to be a game changer. My opinion, in the 24 to 48 hours, the 48 hours to 72 hours, we're all going to be together. It's going to shave years off of your learning curve. To me, it's going to put you a 5-10 years ahead of everyone that is not at the event, and for a bunch of different reasons. Number one, we're never going to have the timing of where we are right now. We do the same event next year. It's not going to be the same as it is this year, because the timing of where the world is, we're seeing the entire world shift to digital currency, blockchain, crypto. Everywhere you look, every single day. Look at that couple at the table. The guy has hundreds of millions in gyms, in coffee franchises, and real estate. He's begging me for information, saying, hey, I don't know what I can teach you, but if you can teach me how to get in this space, I would be so grateful. Right? It's crazy. And that's happening. More and more people, the more they see it, the more their curiosity kicks in, and the more they want to know. And if you look, this is, and again, Tony does a better job explaining this than I do. Because look, most companies, they're ICOs, initial coin offerings. They launch a project, they raise all this money, and then they have all these tokens that were gifted to them because it's the initial coin offering. So let's say it's 50 billion and we got 20 billion for all these people that started the project. It's 100% profit. They have nothing to lose. They pump the coin, they sell. I mean, that's not the way this works, right? Like, we don't need people's money. It's already overfunded. If they want to help run the blockchain, they want to buy nodes. And I've heard Tony say this, I don't care if you buy nodes or not. Our goal is to create revenue. Our goal is to have millions of customers. Our goal is to have a long-term, multi-billion-dollar, amazing company that's impacting the world. I don't care about, and Tony tells them, I don't care about the token price. If you do the right things, that's going to take care of itself in the right order, and it's not going to be a pump and dump and people get hurt in the process. That's not what we want. So the Florida event, not only are we going to have like training, education, inspiration, motivation, but the people that you're going to meet, the social media picks. Let me just tell you this. One social media story. I have neglected my social media for so long. I put up one story where my wife and I were staying in Puerto Rico, which caused my buddy to reach out to me and says, where are you staying and what are you doing? From that, they will probably be one of, if not the biggest community builders in the history of maybe all the blockchain projects. One social media story, not even intentional, didn't even tell them to reach out to me. So when you're at this event and you're posting pictures and you're meeting people and you're inspiring people and all you're doing is just documenting, don't worry about creating, just document what you're doing, right? And people pay attention. What if that one post led you to these guys that just came in? What if that was for you? Do you know how many tokens I will earn and am earning on a daily basis because of one social media post? So just the group that you're going to be around, the social media pics, the relationships, you may meet people that outside of the blockchain open up a door for you in the future that you never would have had. I look back, and if it wasn't for all of these things that happened to me months and years ago, it wouldn't have led to the relationships that I have today. And you can't, and sometimes I can point to that one event that I didn't want to go to, that was not convenient, that I actually went to. So the associations, the training, the inspiration, the dinner cruise we're going to have. So Rhonda, if we can put up the registration if you're not registered for this event, you definitely want to get registered. Some of these new people that have come on board want to know if they can buy 100, 200 tickets at a time. And we have said, no, we can't allow you to do that. You can buy 5, and it has to be a single transaction. So I can buy 5 tickets in my name, but I have to do 5 individual transactions. So get your ticket. We're very low on the VIP tickets. And then also you can purchase your dinner cruise. We're going to go out and have an absolute blast. So Rhonda put both of those in the chat. Let me go ahead and feature this one so you can get your ticket. Let me see what else. As we close out, how many of you are excited about the information I've shared with you so far? Now, understand that I'm trying to be very careful not to get too excited, not to say things that I shouldn't. This is a real business. There's the emotional roller coaster from day to day, right? People are jacked and excited about one thing, and then they're frustrated with another, right? This is no different than any other business. But when I saw Tony take all of his companies, and Tony probably has 25 plus companies. Like I was asking him, hey, how many exactly do you have? He's like, dude, I don't even know, 25 to 50 or whatever. But when I saw him delegate and get everyone else running everything else so he could put 98% of his time here, I'm like, he's continued to hit home run after home run, right? Doesn't mean he had made mistakes. Doesn't mean he had things that didn't work. But when he is putting 98% of his time into this project and working like I've never seen anybody work before in my life, not caring who gets distracted, not caring who says yes, not caring who says no, going, dude, I'm telling you, we're going to give Zoom a run for their money. We're going to build a multiple billion-dollar company. We're bringing in the most amazing people. I have never experienced what I'm experiencing right now with the caliber of people that are coming into the circle with the R-Link community, right? It's pretty crazy. But here's what we do. Number one, make sure you're registered. Florida is not just an event. We're looking at it as the official launch. It is where we're going to spend time together. We're going to set goals together. We're going to come up with a strategy. We're going to roll out new things to you. It is going to be amazing. So make sure you're registered for the event, even if no one else attends. One of the first events that changed my life, everyone backed out. Everyone quit. They were getting ready to repossess my car. I hid my car, drove to the event. It changed my life. I would not be where I am today if it hadn't been for someone telling me what I needed to hear and not what I wanted to hear. He didn't take my excuses. When I said I couldn't afford it, he told me don't admit it, which I didn't like, to be honest with you. He goes, how many years have you been working and you can't afford to take off 48 to 72 hours, not on your job, but your fortune? Darin, what are you going to do to get something different? Because the definition of insanity is doing what you've always done and expecting to get different results. That's not the way it works. I go, I don't have any time. I've got kids. I've got a family. Again, he said, I didn't know you're going to use your family as an excuse. You told me that was your reason. And thank God I had a little bit of personal development, not a lot at that time, because I wanted to smack the taste out of his mouth. But thank God he cared enough to tell me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. I go, let me think about it. He goes, don't get off the phone and go ask your broke friends what they think they're broke. And if you buy their opinion, you buy their lifestyle. So when he eliminated my excuses, aggravated me, made me mad. But when the emotions settled, and by the way, light bulb moment, I learned then that if my emotions kick in, it's probably meant for me. I need it. And I went to that event. And now I use that story like, listen, sometimes we can be in a, what's the word I'm looking for? We can be mentally enslaved by the people and the environment around us and not even know it. The fastest way to change your life is change your environment, period. When you start getting around people that are multiple millionaires, billionaires, that are world changers at the highest level, it changes every single thing. The way you think, it changes your actions, it changes everything. Set a goal. How many people do you want to have with you? So again, these guys did billions in another company. They were part owner of Poppy that sold to Pepsi and on and on and on. They don't have to be at the event. But why did they immediately go, we want to buy tickets. We want to buy extra tickets. Hey, we want to get as many people as we possibly can in that room. Hey, if nobody else will fill the room, we'll fill the room. They understand the power of that in-person event. Next, do massive communication. Most people don't even know what they don't know. If I call Chris up and go, hey, Chris, you want to go to a meeting in Florida? No one wants to go to a meeting. But if I'm reminding Chris, let's just say Chris shared with me his goals and what he really wanted and why he was looking at this as definitely impacting his family. Hey, Chris, were you really serious when you told me why you joined, or were you joking? When you told me your family was everything, right? Well, no, I was serious. I wasn't joking. Would you rather get there sooner or later? Well, I'd rather get there sooner than later. Are you open to a little bit of coaching? Yeah. Well, listen, you can't miss Florida. I don't care what we have to do. And then I help him solve his problems by getting him, to the event. And so with that said, I think that is it. But as you can tell, we have a lot of things going on from the service side, the node side, the community side, and we're just working every day. We have a crew around the clock that's working to make that Florida event a life-changing event. And so while the tickets are available, get registered. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to spend time with you. Remember the things that are ending this month, like that token promotion. And also, too, 80% happens the last 20% of the time. A lot of the people that you're talking to, right? It's a lot of information. And most people, blockchain is completely new to them, like it was to me and probably quite a few of you. So it's going to take multiple exposures. It's going to take more and more information. But once it clicks, right, then they're in. Once they get in, then the more they see, the bigger their vision gets. Very few people ever come in and they stop buying nodes and they stop building the community. They want to do more and more and more once they realize how big the potential really is in the blockchain space and with the R-Link family. So appreciate everybody joining. Have an amazing rest of your day. Can't wait to see you on the next one and can't wait to spend time with you in Florida. Take care.
Jag hoppas att du tyckte det var värt din värdefulla tid. Där försöker jag dessa videosen, ta highlightsen, korta ner dem, speeda upp dem till 1,25, vilket jag satte Darin på för att göra dem så kort som möjligt, men ändå att man kan höra vad han säger. Efter att ha hört detta här, kanske sett andra videos jag gjort tidigare om R-Link, känner att du vågar riskera. Det är en risk att inte hoppa på tåget. Har du pengar till en node, kanske man kan köpa en node. Om du har jättemycket pengar, miljonär, kanske du kan våga köpa en node. Har du inte det, vanlig knegare, arbetare, kan köpa $100 tokens på marknaden. Varför ändå vara med på resan om det blir en stor uppgång. Så att man kan ändå delta i att investera i R-Link. Sen finns det olika sätt. Det är klart en node är bättre för att producera nya tokens hela tiden. Så om projektet lyckas så kanske du helt plötsligt har en stabil sidoinkomst. Om du får ett högt värde stabilt på kanske 1 krona eller 10 kronor eller så $1, vad vet jag. Och du vet att nästa dag kommer nya coins in. Nästa dag kommer nya coins in. Det är vad Node gör. Men det här med influencers och de här stora namnen, del stora miljardärer är bakom detta projektet. Tony bland annat, som gjort mycket intervjuer med. Det känns som att det är verkligen 2025 att det kan ta fart ordentligt. Och framförallt efter den här launchen och i krypto, som ni har säkert varit med om både på uppsidan och nedsidan, så svänger det otroligt fort. Men det är här du vill vara, här nere. Innan de listas på exchanger, innan de listas på stora exchanger, innan en hög likviditet liksom är där. För då kan du vara med från början. Så den här informationen har inte kommit ut till så många än. Men du som lyssnat här har i alla fall får en chans till att vara med på tåget innan det går. Så att ja, jag vet inte mer jag ska säga. Men vågar du riskera att inte vara med på tåget? Det är väl bara det jag kan ge en fundera till er som lyssnat här. Ja, skriv om några frågor och funderingar. Hör bara av er. Ha det gött så länge. Ska jag fortsätta sola här. Det är otroligt varmt här nere i Grekland. Så att hålla mig i skuggan ett tag till. Men ja, hoppas ni fann det värdefullt. Ha det gött så länge. Ciao.